Hi, everybody. I'm James Kronenberger. Today I'm with Ed Lange, um, who is a. Ed, what's your friend's name?
David Martin.
David Martin. They're both on death row in Youngstown, I believe. Today, Ed and his friend would like to talk a little bit about at-risk youth and some of the ideas that they have that they can help our younger generation. Okay, Ed, it's on you now.
What's going on, man? First and foremost, my name is Eddie Lange. I go by Tech, from Baltimore, Maryland.
Right.
David Martin. I go by Dave No, Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
We both is on death row in Ohio. I've been locked up 18 years. They've been locked up for 10, 11, 12 years. We're both currently housed in Ohio Penn State Penitentiary in Youngstown, Ohio. Death row is currently housed at, Ross Correctional Institution, but because of our disciplinary history of violence and other things, we were separated from, death row population in place here, while they figure out if they will allow us to be back in the death row general population setting. Just to give you a little background on ourselves, you know what I'm saying? I'm a member of the Bloods, and Dave Loke is a member of the Rolling 60s Crip, gang. So, instead of us, allowing, the fracture style conflicts that have, created tension and created, a lot of barriers and things between our organizations, we chose to come together to try to figure out a platform that we can use to reach our youth. I have 4 kids. My oldest is 20, my youngest is 10. 3 girls and a boy. And Dave, have 2 kids, a son and a daughter. His oldest is 23, and his youngest is about to be 12. So, just conversing with each other, coming up with different ideas. We figured, why not pay it forward and try to change the circumstances that, not only invaded our lives, but the youth as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people who are in our situations because they didn't have platforms, they didn't have the resources or advocate or voices that, allowed them to be able to, articulate their pain and problems in a way that could garner them the type of help they needed. I grew up in a single parent household. My mother raised 4 kids on her own on the west side of Baltimore in projects. You know what I'm saying? As a result of that, by her not being home, her providing for me and my siblings, I chose to be in the streets. Not because necessarily because she, wanted me to, but because of the lack of parental guidance and her trying to provide for us. I got intrigued with the hood lifestyle. I was 10 years old, started knowing about drugs. By the time I was 11, 12 years old, I started gangbanging. I joined the Bloods as a result of just the lack of father figure, role models and the male, role models in my life. Those who I looked up to and influenced me to do, and to find my purpose as a young boy in my transition to manhood, were those who were selling drugs and gangbanging, and that led to me, deeply involved in that lifestyle, trying to earn recognition, trying to earn homage and respect and rank in order to improve my loyalty, to the Bloods. And as a result of that, I did a lot of things I'm not proud of. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a saint. I was very much embedded in that gang lifestyle, and, no excuses for the mistakes I made and choices I made. I was taught better, and I just didn't understand how to do better. And as a result, I chose to follow the wrong people. Even when I knew it was wrong, I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? And at times when I wanted help and I needed help, I didn't know how to find the help. And those who offered that help didn't come from my understanding. They didn't relate to me because they wasn't going through my struggle. So I turned a blind ear to them. The people that was going through my pain and understood my struggle were the ones that was caught up in the same pain that I was going through. So it was a cycle that was passed on to me by my older homies and my comrades that I looked up to for guidance. They led me wrong. As a result of that, going in and out of detention centers and group homes and stuff like that as a young juvenile, I got worse and worse and caught up in that struggle. When I was 18, a couple weeks after I turned 18, I caught my first, adult charge. I did 8 months in prison for second degree assault with a deadly weapon, and while in prison again, continuously trying to earn my respect and gain rank within in my organization. And then when I got out of prison, trying to fly right, take care of my daughter who was about to be 2 years old at the time, I just didn't really know how to. And though I wanted to, I went back to what I knew, selling drugs, robbing drug dealers, gang banging in order to provide for my daughter. That led to me being caught up in a drug deal robbery gone bad in which 2 people were murdered, and I was falsely accused of murdering these 2 people, and then I ended up on death row. While on death row, bitter, angry at the system, feeling like the system failed me, the lack of lawyers being incompetent, and the lack of family stability and support, I chose to take my frustration and anger out on other prisoners and COs and stuff like that, fighting a lot, using drugs, drinking, making money, doing things that would make me feel better within a horrible situation. And, in 2010, I was placed in Supermax placement level 5 for severely injuring another prisoner. I did 3 years of Supermax placement. I went through the ills of cell extractions, fighting COs, just you name it, I've done it within this prison system as a result of not having nobody to help me really understand the pain that I was going through. So I chose to, take it out on anybody and everybody that I could, including myself, because I hurted myself more than I hurt other people. You know what I'm saying? In 2019-ish, 2020-ish, I began to change my thought pattern. You know what I'm saying? I began to find myself. I got my high school diploma, both my GED. I took some college programs. I wrote over 17 books. I write poetry. I draw. I paint. I began to be more active in my kids' lives. Primarily, just trying to change the status quo of what people and perception that people had about me that I created. You know what I'm saying? And as a result of that, I spent more time studying myself and learning myself. And despite the fact that I had made those changes after 15 years, the state, when they sent the death row over to Ross Correctional Institution, chose to use my past prior conduct against me and send me to OSP to be housed in, which is considered ERH, but give me a few extra privileges and consider my status to be special management. And this is how I met Dave Look, and he can tell you his story.
Okay.
My name is David Morgan. I go by Dave Lowe. Like you said, the gang violence is like a lot of things that drew me towards the street life. Living on the east side of Cleveland, I grew up in Mooresburg Projects, and I come from a dysfunctional family as well. And I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed at the same time of the things that I've been through. Like my mom, she was a prostitute. I watched her get murdered in my face. I was 4.5 years old. Moved to Morris back in 1989. Me, my brother, my sister, my father, my sister moved out of state. So, all I seen was what was around me, which was violence and things like that. And I thought that was the way to live, to be a part of that type of stuff, because that's what was surrounded by. So, by the time I turned, let's say, 12, that's when I became an active member in the neighborhood Roller 60 Crips, and from there on out, I just been in and out of juvenile, back to back, for similar reasons, like trying to get recognition and things like that. And, I'm not proud of none of the things that I did, but I can say the things that I've been through made me who I am today, because as of now, I'm 40 years old, I'm a little more mature than I was. And, like just being through what I've been through, I wouldn't want the youth that's looking up to this lifestyle to want to be influenced and follow into the same lifestyle, because like it's an end, but it's really no out once you in. And from the time I can say I was convicted on this charge, I was convicted on a double shooting. One person died, one survived. I had a federal case, went to trial, lost that, got 21 years to 10 months for selling ATF or assault rifle, like I just was going down. And being that I was in another county where I called my case at, which was Warren, Ohio, Trumbull County, I wasn't liked by the staff there because of my case. And as a result of that, it led me to where I'm at now in Supermax facility because I couldn't control myself beyond things that I knew. And I held guard hostage for 5 hours, 2014, and as a result of that, it made me do a little over 10 years in solitary confinement. So I'm now on death row, currently around Tech. And we just decided to come together to just, like put some great energy out there because like as we was coming up, we wasn't taught the things that we're trying to teach now. Like we wasn't taught that we can sit at the table with each other, that we can eat with each other, that we can actually communicate with each other because of the differences of our organization. But it's self-taught, and that's what we're trying to get out to the youth now. Like I got a book out called The Young Black and on Death Row, and it's been out since 2018. And it's not a book to brag about things I've done. I minimize the glorifying of it, just so the youth can get a better understanding that, like, the things that he said I'm going through as well, and the things that we going through, we don't want to see those beneath us go through because, like, it's more to life. Like family, the ones that you think love you, you gonna see their true colors when you're in a situation like this. So it's like our message is just try to help put resources out there of any kind that can help the youth, develop a direction in life to understand that it's other ways out there than growing up feeling like a lost soul because you don't have a parent in your life, whether it's a father or whether it's a mother. And you turn to the streets because at the end of the day, like, you want to be hurting yourself. And, like, I'm not going to take up too much time speaking on that. I just wanted to just throw that out there among the listeners because, this is more about y'all. This isn't us. This is about y'all because...
Well, I think it's very commendable. Yeah, it's very commendable what you guys are doing. Just on the south side of Columbus, we've had a lot of killings lately of young people. And if...
Yeah, that's definitely our aim, James. Like the primary target, not just specifically only at-risk youth, but people who are having like a single parent mother or father or a sister or brother that have at-risk sibling or somebody that have a friend that's out here that's going through the ills, of life that's caught up in this fratricidal conflict. Because we don't want this to continuously be a cycle that's continuously destroy not just the black communities but just communities in general. You get what I'm saying?
How are you
reaching? Yeah.
How are you reaching the young people right where you're at right now inside the institutions?
Well, of course, this is one platform that we just are taking advantage of now. But however, like the brother said, they just said he got a book published. I have several books published as well. I have a social media platform that I've been posting content on, and what is he, your cousin? Dave Cousin is a pastor in Cleveland. We have things that we're slowly but surely starting to get set up. We don't want to jump out here and make promises that we can, cash out on. We're right now we're just trying to be a voice and just let people know that there's people within these prison walls. It's something that most people must understand. Like, I am a blood. You know what I'm saying? He is a Crip. We're not sitting here acting like we're something that we're not. We are every bit of that, but we're not actively participating in the violent nature of these gangs. We're a part of a movement. We're trying to change the structure of these movements because we are in a position of leadership. That being said, people must understand, people in prison got more control over these youth out here on these streets than older people out here on these streets that are there around. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of us are locked up. The leaders that are a part of these gangs are locked up. And these youth are inspiring to be like us. So we have the power to be able to change their direction when they come in these walls because of the choices that they're making out there. We got to make sure that when they come in here, we teach them the things that we have learned, because we don't have the opportunity at this very moment to get back out there in society. We hoping for that opportunity. But that being said, when these youth, y'all had, in 18 years, I've had at least 4 individuals that that was under my leadership that went out to these streets that got killed. And it set with me hard. The last one was a brother to me, and I could have changed the actions and decisions that he was making. He was killed by a rival gang member from things that he was doing behind these walls. And when I was on the phone with him before he got killed, I could have prevented him from being killed if I would have just told him to not do the things he was doing. But because he had it all figured out, and because he convinced me that what he was doing, he was moving in a smart direction, I just allowed him to make the best choices for him. And he lost his life over that. And that set with me. And that's what, this was in 2019. And again, that's what made me realize, like, yo, I battled and I with myself, feeling like I did not want this life no more, right? I can't cut these tattoos off my face and off my skin. So I figured, like, instead of me turning my back on these individuals, what can I do from a position of leadership that can change the mentality of these individuals so that they won't.
Guys, I think we lost them, and hopefully they'll be back. We'll give it a let me see what happened here. They're going to have to call back. Yeah, they're going to have to call back. I don't know if the phone went dead or... I don't know if the phone went dead or what, it just cut off. So we'll give them a few minutes to join back. But as you're hearing, these two gentlemen are involved in trying to get our youth pretty much groomed so they don't make some of the same mistakes that they made, or some of the mistakes that I made, or so many, people that are incarcerated have made. So let's give them a chance to see if they can call back and go from there. If not, we will do another segment with these guys. We'll give them, 2-3 minutes to call back. I did tell them we're going to do smaller segments, on it. So that's probably what happened. The phone probably died. They probably used up their time. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this short. Please follow us on YouTube. Both channels are under my name, James Kronenberger, but one says Hope for the Community. The other one just is James Kronenberger. So just Google up my name. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and the Twitter, which is X now. I haven't been on there lately. But folks, please pray for these people that are on death row, that they can get some peace. It's not easy knowing that your sentence is death. Senator Reynolds in the state of Ohio has a bill in to abolish the death penalty. So we're hoping, she's a Republican senator, we're hoping that that will pass. And then they would commute these individuals to, life without parole. And I'm not a big fan of life without parole neither, because you're not giving people hope, when they need hope. And a lot of people that they gave life to without parole deserves a chance. In Ohio, and I'm sure it's in other states too, it's so easy to get convicted of a crime. All you do is point somebody out, and you don't really have to have the solid evidence like people would think. The population in Ohio is pretty much 50-50 now with convicted felons. You're going to start seeing people with a past lead our country and lead our state in the future. So it's food for thought, folks. But please pray for the incarcerated, that God would give them peace. Thank you, everybody.